Good day everyone. A government needs to see to the needs of the majority of people that pay taxes within that country. And if they don't do that, the government will lose all their income and they will cease to exist. I'll repeat that. A government needs to see to the needs of the majority of the taxpayers in the country, the people that pay the bulk of the tax. If you don't see to their needs, that government will eventually collapse. And this is not rocket science. It's a very, very simple thing. So if you look at the citizens of South Africa, if you look at the businesses in South Africa, whose needs are the government looking after? Now, business, mining, industry is a big tax supplier to the government, and the government has made sure that they look after banks, big business in a big way. And that is why those businesses are still in South Africa, but that's starting to diminish, especially for businesses coming from other countries in the world. And as I'm standing here on my plot in the Northern Cape, I'm thinking of the issue of land for many people in this country, and how they cannot build wealth without land, without access to land. And it doesn't mean that you as a government should have an expropriation act where you can expropriate anything. It's not a land expropriation act. You can take anything, intellectual property, anything. And the US have many laws like that. Many other countries have laws like that, where inventors, they will literally take their designs and not allow them to patent those designs if they believe it's for the benefit of the people. So coming back to taxpayers and industry and developing industry, you need invention to develop industry. And if the people that pay the bulk of the tax are part of industry and they actually gain from it, you can build a very strong tax base. But that is not the case in South Africa at the moment. In fact, most people are battling. They are losing jobs. They are battling to start small businesses because of an immense amount of red tape. And another big problem is the fact that the majority of big taxpayers in South Africa are busy leaving. They are making plans to exit the country. And when you do that, because the government doesn't serve the need of the bulk of the taxpayers, and that means more than 50% of the taxpayers, the bulk. If those people start leaving the country, where are you going to get your income from? Who are you going to beg next for income? China, Russia, the US, and build up debt. Are they just going to give you money? The US has been giving South Africa money for many things for many, many years. And I'm sure many of the cadres deployed in government have stolen so much of that money because it was supposed to go towards health and many other things. So, once again, if the government doesn't look after the bulk of the tax base, they will cease to exist. The question is when. When will they cease to exist? Our government is already at the point where they are so bad at governing that gangs are taking over the country. Because when people don't govern properly, on a moral base, on a moral ground, and set an example, gangs will fill that void, and bad people will start giving people safety and security, even when it is for the extraction of money from the public. But that's what happens, and it's happening in South Africa. Crime syndicates, organized crime, gangs, which the political parties in parliament are part of the looting and pillaging, all of them, they will all end up collapsing the government. And what will you have left? You will have a situation where you need to be very familiar with what I call the Mad Max scenario or the Plan C scenario in your area, because someone's going to be influenced at some stage to the point where you need to get to safety fast. And if you need to get to safety fast and you don't have Plan C plans, you're going to struggle. Where I'm in the Northern Cape, this is my Plan B situation. Plan A is to change this governance system so that we can have a government where people are our representatives, that we elect directly, that we can remove ourselves if we want to. I've been advocating for direct elections for a very long time, electing our leaders directly as individuals, not parties. Cut them out completely, make them irrelevant, and then we can start actually seeing some form of democracy in South Africa, or a better form of democracy. Even although it's not a perfect system, it's still better than people dictating to you, because when the next dictator comes along, he might not be as nice as the previous benevolent dictator. So once again, it all evolves around money. At this stage, it's all about money, and if the tax money is not there anymore and the government is bleeding tax funds and SARS is getting desperate, the government's already losing. It's just a matter of time before they collapse completely. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me in the comments what you think about the fact that the largest portion of the tax base in South Africa is not looked after by the government, and they feel it and they are leaving.